Hello, friends, and welcome to Mysterious Monday. And tonight, we're diving into the mysterious world of the deep woods. Tattooed Biker here with you. And in this video, I'll be reading 2 true stories that have been submitted by my amazing viewers. So grab your headphones, settle in, and let's take a ride into the strange and spine-chilling deep woods. Dear Biker, I wanted to tell you about my first SAR. Years ago, I moved from a very small town to a remote valley, out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by national forest and not many neighbors. It was just what I had always wanted. At that point in my life, I'd been a paramedic for about 4 or 5 years, and being outdoorsy, civic-minded and such, I decided to volunteer my services with a local search and rescue organization. For being such a tiny, poorly funded organization, we were surprisingly busy. In the 9 years I was with them, we'd have at least one rescue, sometimes several every weekend, spring through fall. The source of the majority of these calls was the roughly 100 miles of poorly maintained fire trails that were very popular with dirt bike and quad riders. When they'd inevitably get lost or wreck or get injured, we'd head out, track them down, provide medical care, and fly them out on a helicopter, or put them on a Stokes basket mounted to a janky-ass trailer thing we'd pull with a quad. About 2 weeks after joining, and with zero training beyond what I had learned as a Boy Scout and medic, I got my first call. A group of dirt bike riders from the city had lost a member of their party. For some reason, they had put their least experienced rider at the back of the group of a dozen or so, and took off into the woods. When they returned to the trailhead 4 hours later, the inexperienced guy was missing. They set out again and looked for him for 4 or 5 hours before they finally gave up and called 911. The time interval from the initial 911 call until we had a squad assembled was pretty impressive, no more than 20 minutes. But we were already 8 or 9 hours behind the ball. We did a very quick briefing, distributed maps, divided into teams, and then we set off. They put me on a quad with the most experienced guy, and we headed out. The plan was for each 2 to 3 person team to take one of the longer trails that ring the place. Then, after searching those, we'd systematically work our way into the shorter, maze-like trails that made up the interior. This was to be a hasty search. None of that grid search crap. Just riding around looking for clues. I don't know what I had expected exactly. Maybe a few dirt roads through the woods or something, but these trails were an absolute nightmare. They were extremely rugged, technical trails, where you had to really know what you were doing, where you were going, or you'd never make it out. GPS rarely worked due to the rugged terrain and the tree cover. Radios and cell phones were a crapshoot, and the maps didn't account for all the random trails that riders would just sort of make. The only marked roads were fire breaks, and mileage-wise, those accounted for maybe 10% of the total trails. Why this guy hadn't been partnered with someone or put at the front of the group is still a mystery. 4 hours into this, I'm caked with mud, bleeding from being hit with branches, exhausted and just basically done. We take a water break, and we hear broken radio traffic. That sounds like the bike has been found, but no rider. It's only a few miles from us, so we head in that direction. When we get there, the bike is off to the side of the road, along with the quads of the other teams, but we can see them a few hundred feet in the woods. We walk over and find them looking down at the missing person, who is very, very dead. Lips blue, skin dusky, and arms spread out like a cross. At first glance, his eyes looked to be wide open and solid white, but when I examined him, I could see that his eyes were actually covered with fly eggs. Dude had actually been dead a while. It didn't make sense, though. His bike still had gas in it, he had water and food, and he was a healthy guy in his late 20s. Why was he dead? It looked like he had simply laid his bike down, then ran off into the woods to die. Mission accomplished, I guess. We wrapped him in blankets, then put him on the Stokes and took him to the trailhead, where the coroner was waiting. About a week later, I ran into the coroner, and I asked him what the cause of death had been. The pathologist's determination was cardiac dysthymia, secondary to extreme anxiety. The guy literally died of fright, which up to that point I had always assumed was just Hollywood bullshit. I've always wondered what was going through his head. Was he just afraid of the woods? Or of being lost? If so, why did he run blindly into the woods instead of continuing to follow the trail? There's a part of me that thinks he may have seen something out there. I've heard a lot of stories about weird stuff in these woods, and I've even seen a few strange things myself, so it really wouldn't surprise me. Let me know if you're going to use this in a video. If it goes over well with your viewers, I have a few more stories. Thanks. Signed, Eric. Number 2. Hey, Tattooed Biker. Hello. Someone mentioned that I should send you my story. So this happened to me about 7 years ago. I was 19 to 20 at the time, and I was a scout leader. We had a camp in a forest. The nearest city was about a 10 to 15 minute drive away. Every year in July, we would have an international scout camp. Scouts from different European countries would come join us. I was in the preparations team, and we would go around 2 to 3 weeks in advance to clean and put the tents up. In the preparation team, we had about 20 people, 10 to 12 men, and the rest were women. We were all in our late teens or our early 20s. If anyone has been a scout, they might know that the first thing in a camp is setting up a flag. The flag is an important part of this camping game. Other scouts would constantly try to steal the flag. If they managed to steal, then the losing team would have to go home. This never actually happened, by the way. No one was ever sent home. It was just a rule to keep other members involved and willing to protect the flag. Therefore, we had to constantly keep an eye out or a guard near the flag. Other games involved attacking other teams and kidnapping members. All fun and games and nothing violent or harsh, of course. It was fun and made us alert 24/7. So here's where the creepy part begins. One night, our preparation team was done with everything. The other 2 countries from Europe, was about 60 people, were set to arrive in the morning. We had nothing to do, so we set up a campfire and started singing and talking. We had our guards, people from the team, set up in different locations. 2 near the flag, 2 near the entrance, and 2 in the woods facing the river. So we were tired and decided to go to sleep. We would change guards every 2 hours. Each guard also had a whistle. If an animal or a person was to come to the camp, they would blow a certain note on the whistle to alert us to the danger. That night, I was an hour into sleep when I heard a whistle. We all woke up and ran to the team member who had whistled. She claimed she saw 3 white figures running fast in the forest near the set-up tents. We thought that the morning teams had maybe arrived early and had snuck in to steal the flag or kidnap a member. So we all decided to stay awake and go into defense mode. We each stood guard in different locations, watching for signs. After some time, we started hearing whistles from deeper parts of the forest. We also started hearing radio sounds, coming from different places. We saw some guys in white shirts running around in the forest. Me and 2 other people decided to check the empty tents to see if there were people hiding in them, but we never found anyone. Then we started walking around and we heard loud laughter coming from a bush near us. It sounded like a woman laughing. So we started laughing too, as we thought we found the other scout team near the bush. Naturally, we walked to the bush without any hesitation, and to our horror, there was no one. Then we heard more noises coming from another bush that was a little bit deeper in the woods. Then we heard a clear conversation between a few people, speaking French with an accent. We could hear them so clearly, so we checked, and again, nothing. Then we saw a guy in a white t-shirt running fast again in front of us. But his speed was weird. He was running so fast as if he was sliding. Keep in mind, we were in the woods at night with no light. There's no way someone can run without making a noise, but somehow this guy was running silently. It really seemed like he was just sliding along. Again, we still didn't feel threatened. We just had adrenaline rush, but it was more excitement to catch them than anything else. After all, we had just wanted the fun to begin. We were excited to see the teams again and have fun. So, for the next 2 hours or so, we kept hearing whistles and whispers in French, but we never found a single person. It was so clear that there were a lot of people hiding all around us, but we couldn't catch even one of them. They were so fast and so sneaky. It's important to mention that the arriving teams weren't from France, so it was weird to hear them speaking in French. Anyway, after 2 hours of running in the forest in the dark, I got tired. I didn't take this too seriously, so myself and a couple of my friends went back into our tent to rest. I laid down, and after 10 minutes, I saw a car light speeding toward us. Now, this area isn't designed for regular cars to arrive. None of us or other teams had cars. A bus from the near city would drop us there and pick us up after camp was over. We heard a car coming straight towards our tents with high beams on. It was coming so fast that we were frozen, expecting it to hit us at any moment. It happened so fast that we couldn't even run. Then suddenly, it just stopped, right near our tent. We heard the door open, but heard no footsteps. Whoever it was just closed the door and left. We were shaking, and at that moment it hit me that it couldn't have been anyone from the other teams. We got out and learned that our other teammates had also seen a Jeep speeding towards our tent, but didn't see anyone coming out of the car. After this, we just decided to stay awake until morning. Throughout the entire night, we kept seeing these white-shirted men sliding all around us. We couldn't see any faces. They were fast and weird. We could hear loud laughter and French whispers all around our camp. We could tell there were a lot of strangers near the camp who were either messing around with us or who had plans to hurt us. The sun eventually came up and the strange thing stopped. We didn't manage to catch anyone or figure out who they were. In the morning, the other teams finally arrived. We had this leaderboard meetings every afternoon where we would discuss daily plans and meals. Also, we would share about any planned or failed attacks. All of the team members said they arrived in the morning, so they weren't even in the country at night. Up to this day, I have no idea who those people were. I have no idea what they wanted or what their plans might have been. They never attacked or kidnapped anyone in the team. It was scary when I think of it. What would happen if we didn't have guards that night? What would have happened if we had all been asleep? At the end of the day, it was a campsite in a wooded area, and woods can be places where cults and crazy people gather. Well, that's my story, biker. Thank you for reading. Signed, Patricia. And there it is. All I have tonight on the strange, unexplained encounters in the deep woods. I hope you enjoyed these stories as much as I did. If you have any mysterious encounters or creepy experiences that you'd like to share, feel free to send them to me. Then they might just make it into a video. My email's in the description. And don't forget to smash the like button and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. Until then, stay curious, stay vigilant, stay safe, and I'll be seeing you on down the road a ways. Biker out.